Hi, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends where you'll be watching this from, and anytime that you'll come across this particular discussion, particular topic, you'll be able to just receive my greetings based on the time you'll be watching it. So I'm here once again, and I want to continue with the series of building our value system and just reminding ourselves back to the basics. What is it that makes me and sums up the human nature in terms of a value system, in terms of our manners, our behaviors, our character, all those things? What makes me to be someone who is worthy, someone who is acceptable, someone who is able to fit in the society anywhere I find myself? So my name is Catherine Eric, and I am a change agent, intentionally raising the future generations holistically. So that is my passion, that is my path, that is the reason why this particular platform has come in handy, because it's a good resource that is able to communicate whatever it is that I feel that is something that we really need to remind ourselves in the community, in the family setup, in the society, and be able to call ourselves to order. So, what is kindness? Kindness is a virtue. It is a human behavior that helps us to mold a good character, a character that is acceptable to every human being within a setup where you find yourself. Anywhere you have kindness as a human being, you will find that you are able to survive, you are able to live, you are able to interact with other human beings very well without having difficulty. You are sociable, you are able to have conversations with other people, you are able to come up with like conflict resolution. There are virtues and values that are able to help us to be problem solvers, solution givers. Why am I saying that? Because of who and what kindness is. Kindness is two words that carry the same letter C. Kindness is ability for me to show care, ability for me to be concerned about another human being. So you really need to be someone who cares about people. You need to be someone who is concerned about people. And when you love people, when you are concerned about what happens in another person's life, when you care, it makes you to be someone whose mindset is so problem solving, uh, you know, inclined, because when you see something that is not very good, something that bothers you, something that is a concern, it's easy for you to be able to seek for the solution. It is good for you to be able to recognize this thing is not going on the way it's supposed to be, and you go out of your way just on your own accord. Nobody has instructed you, but you just know this is the right thing to do, that I need to be able to care about other people. I need to show concern on what bothers another person. But when you don't have kindness, anything that is not bothering you directly, it doesn't concern you. You can actually just bypass someone who is suffering, and it doesn't bother you. It doesn't, trigger anything in you, because it is not you. So we really need to get back to the kind of human nature and human behavior that makes me to feel the pain of another person, to see the discomfort of another person, and just be able to uh, pause and evaluate, is this thing anything I can do about it? Is there something I can do? If I can't do something about it, do I know someone who can do something about this particular situation? And I believe when we begin to practice kindness, when we begin to learn about kindness, we can be able to make our families, our communities, our institutions, our societies a better place for all of us, no matter who you are and where you are. Kindness is a warmth that attracts naturally. It deletes the I, me, and myself attitude. When you don't care about anything else, you are not concerned, no matter, as long as you are okay. As long as I'm okay and the other person is not okay, It is not my problem. So, what are we saying? We are just talking about kindness so that we remind ourselves the human nature that we have, and we are made in the image and in the likeness of God. So, when I interact with anybody, everyone should be able to see the God factor in me, because I'm made in the image and in the likeness of God. And the God factor in me, number one, comes out because of the love of God, because God is love. You know, First John 4:8 says, "For God is love. Anybody that does not know God does not love." And I, as a human being who has been created in the image and in the likeness of God, the God factor has to be there. So I find it a bit of a challenge when I just go about my life because I'm okay, and I pretend, or I just turn a blind eye on what is a concern to another person. Anything that is affecting another person, as long as it is not directly affecting me, so be it. I don't care. I have a very big problem with such kind of behavior. So I'm just trying to say kindness is a virtue, and this virtue is something that we need in our society. And how can we be able to display kindness? How can I be able to demonstrate and to action kindness if I don't have kindness, if I don't know about kindness? And when I know kindness, when I see something that doesn't look like kindness, which is the opposite of kindness is cruelty, the opposite of kindness is selfishness, the opposite of kindness is unconcerned behavior. So when we know kindness, when we see something that does not align to kindness, we can be able to stop, pause, and just be able to maybe correct it, or maybe share what should be done. That is why I'm talking about kindness, and it is a good value system that we need to begin to train our children from home. We need to be able to share with one another and call ourselves to order and tell ourselves, look here, I need to be a person who cares about other people. I need to be a person who is concerned about what affects another person, because when I am concerned about what affects any other person outside me, any other person outside my immediate members of the family, any other person, but is a human being like me, what can I do to make it better? You see, what can I do to make it right when things go wrong? Because at some point things can go wrong. But now, when I have kindness, when you have kindness, and collectively we have kindness, what will we do? We will quickly begin to look for how can we make it better? What can we make it? How can we make it right? How can we effect change? What can we do to be able to solve this kind of problem? What can we do to be able to attend to a conflict until we come back to peace, until we are able to come back to unity? The togetherness that we need to have in anywhere you find yourself, because when you have peace and there's peace all around, it is something that is very good. But you can't have peace in the absence of kindness. You can't have unity in the absence of kindness, because if you really don't care about what is happening to another person, neither does it concern you that another person is in pain or is going through a difficult situation, or is someone who is suffering in one thing or the other, it becomes very difficult. So we want to be able to bring back to us, to our attention, to bring back to us that apart from learning every other thing, it can be in academics and every other thing, but character forms a very integral part of humanity. And character is something that we have to build intentionally, and we cannot build character individually. We build character collectively. How do we build character? Is us being able to correct ourselves, to rebuke ourselves, to chastise ourselves and call ourselves to order, and tell myself and tell you, and you tell me, look here, this is a thing that is not going on the right way, and I believe this is not what should be done, but we can do it respectfully, we can do it honorably, so that we are able just to live in peace, in love, and in unity together. Because nowadays we have a lot of selfishness, one-mindedness, it is I, me, and myself. Because nowadays is like if there's a one man guitar. Can I call it that? People really don't value that togetherness like before. And we always tell ourselves, even at family, sometimes you find we don't really come together the way we used to come together to build ourselves, to just share and laugh. Apparently, we are very busy. We are building up, we are working, we are doing business, we are doing ministry. We are just engaged in one thing or the other. But I always tell myself, and I believe you will be able to uh, support me in this, there is no time anywhere at all. There's no idle time. What people do, we create time for what we value. So if you value someone, you'll create time for them. If you value your people around you, you'll create time for them. If you value family, you'll create time for them. And it can't be a one-sided thing. It has to be a collective thing. We all do, so that nobody appears to be a burden to another person. So we really need to go back to share, to be people who are concerned about what happens to another person. If you're not concerned when someone is not well, but you are okay, you wouldn't do much. For example, I can use a very realistic analogy. For example, let's say I'm able to do everything for myself and for my family. I can have let's say I have the capacity maybe to be able to stock up. For me, things that are to do with basic needs, those are not an item. It is something you do in excess. You even have extra food, you let it just spoil at home, and you have the audacity just to take what you feel is overstayed, and you just throw it in the bin. And around you, there are people who are sleeping hungry. There are people who are struggling in life, even with clothing. You can have like even over almost 100 pieces of clothes, but you are not wearing all of them. But because you don't really have that kind of kindness virtue that now makes you to think, these pairs of shoes, these clothes, this amount of shopping that I have, I can be able to share with someone who doesn't have. If you don't have it, you can't think on that line. It is hard for you to think that you can be a blessing to another person. You can be able to just take 2 packets of flour and give someone else who doesn't have. And it won't change you, it will make you a better person. But you find that we thrive more on hoarding. Yet, if you look around you, no matter who you are or where you are, if you look around you, you will not say that there is one person you cannot even give a loaf of bread. But it will rather get spoiled, then you discard it in the bin. And when you go where there's garbage collection being done, dumping, you will always find there are people there scavenging, people, human beings like me and you, in their good frame, but they have no option. They will be looking for that food in the garbage, and they will take it and eat it. Have you ever wondered? These people, despite them eating that, if you go to the hospital, do you know their rate of being sick is very limited? That is how mighty our God is. But He has given you opportunity to have surplus. But you can't even teach your children to share what they have. Instead, it's like hoard. Don't give this one, don't do that one, don't. So our society is growing up with a lot of mindset of hoarding. Hoarding, get as much as you can. Collect as much as you can. Keep as much as you can. But I want to pose a question. On this world, here we are on earth, we are passers by. We are not going anywhere with anything. We were born naked. Unfortunately, we'll go the same way, although people normally dress someone who has passed on very, very well. But the truth of the matter is, your soul goes back to wherever naked, the body decays and goes back to the earth where it was formed from. So I want us to talk to ourselves on the things that really bring individualism in us: disunity, division, hatred, envy, jealousy. You see, all those things, if you look at them, it's just because of kindness. You find people are coming from the one family, but they can't talk to one another. If you ask them why are they fighting, sometimes they even kill one another. They will tell you either it is land or property or money, wealth. They will rather kill for it. You find someone has already land, they are doing well off, but they want like 10. You want to keep to yourself like 500 acres. When you leave the earth, has it ever occurred to you, even for you to, you have no choice where you will go, the 6x6, the earth, the only earth that you will occupy when you exit is the 6x6, the one that you did not choose. People choose for you. And God kept it a secret that He never comes to tell anyone, even those of us who communicate and hear God. But there are things that He hides that you can see a sign, maybe you are exiting, but not knowing when. That's why the Bible says Jesus will come like a thief. So even before you put yourself together, He can just come even when you're okay. And you are holding everything. You can't share. You can't give. You cannot support anything else. You just want to have I, me, and myself. Everything is for you. You have no problem buying another pair of shoes, but you cannot bless an orphan or a destitute person with a shoe. You cannot think of adding value to another person, yet God, who has blessed you, is the same God who has not visited them. But God expects you that He has blessed because you are a channel to be able to look around and reach out to someone else. But you find nowadays we are changing the narrative and trying to get as much as even our own children, we stop them from sharing, what little that they have. Don't give this one, don't do this one, don't do. Yes, people have become also wicked in another level, but there are basic things that make us human beings that we need to continue to carry within our behaviors, within our character, within our lifestyle, that makes us human beings, that makes me to look at another person, no matter who they are, and just place a huge value on this other person, so that if I have an extra one thing, I can be able to release it, and not grudgingly. I can be able to be a blessing, no matter how little it is. Don't think about a very big thing. That little thing you have, someone else can be able to benefit from it. But don't always just look at life within you. There is more to life outside me as a person. There's more to life outside you as a person. And when we coexist together, it makes us better, and it makes our society a better place. And this message is going out not only to us as parents to train ourselves, but even as us as adults. Look at even our leadership in society. Most people, why do we have a lot of corruption? It's because of selfishness, nothing else. Everybody wants a lot of something, for themselves. Majority. If you just study and look, it is like majority. But if you are spreading it genuinely and honestly, it will get back to everybody. It will trickle down. Yes, we will always have people who are better off than others, who are more wealthy, like more than the others. But it becomes a problem when you are the only one. You know? You want to be the only one. You want to be the one that calls the shots. You want to dictate everything. You want everything to align by you. But you do not understand that the more we are, the better. It looks like this, flat like this. The more we can stand on this, many of us in a family, the better. Let me pose a question. If you have a millionaire in your family, or should I say a billionaire, any of them in your family, but they want to be the only ones who are millionaires, them pulling another person up and another person pulling another one and another one pulling another one, it won't cost them anything. It will make them better. It will make me and you better. Why am I saying we'll be better like that? Because if we are like 10 people, one is a millionaire, another one is able to do this, another one is able to do this. Can you see this heaviness will become flat like this? The burden will not be so much because it's a shared responsibility. This one can do 10 bob, this one can do 5 bob, this one can do 5, this one can do 1,000, that one can do 200, this one can do 1 million. But at the end of the game and at the end of the day, what are we saying? We are better together. If all of us are able to do one thing at our levels, it makes us better together, it makes us stronger together. But we are unfortunately breeding a society whereby if someone is not matching up to this cadre, then we look at them as though they are not worthy or they are a lesser human being. But that is the lack of kindness that will make you to look at another person and feel you are better off than this person. What if you allow you reach out to this one and this one with a shared responsibility, a shared accountability, a shared commitment that we are doing this because we want this and this and this. And next time you're doing something, if you come together, whether someone was able to give a loaf of bread, another one was able to give a sack, another one was able to do a cow, another one was able to do this. It is so much easy. If you're in the family and God forbid, the people are not always the same, but you pick this particular maybe child in a family, and this child, the one of you is not maybe having the capacity as well, but the 5 of you have. One can do a capacity of 10K, one can do a capacity of 1,000, another one 500, and you pull these funds together. Are you not able to now ensure this other child is taken to school? This other child is dressed well, this other family, they are eating well. I mean, it doesn't take anything from you, but it blesses you more. It opens more doors and creates an avenue that it becomes a channel so that you find kindness will just be flowing in the family because you've already introduced it as a system in your family, in your bloodline, in the society, in the community. You are able to uplift one another with ease because we are better together. We are better. That is always my mantra. We are better together. This one man, lane, one man ranger for me, I think it takes too much. You are the only one that meetings cannot hold until you come. Decisions cannot made and you cannot go until you decide. But when you are together, you easily move mountains. You easily achieve bigger things and you can move from one person to another until at the end of the day, you find that all of you are empowered differently and are able very well. And the family begins to flow. As the family is flowing, so is the community. As the community is flowing, so is the society. So are nations getting better together. That's why I'm saying this is a challenge I'm posing to all of us. Are we heads of families? Are we people in the family? Are we in the community? Are you in a church setup? Are you in an institution? Are you in an organization? Are you in the marketplace? Are you a national leader? But look around you and tell me with ability and capacity God has given you, how many people can stand behind you? And how many people have a testimony that this is the light you brought? This is the impact you have been able to effect. This is what you have been able to do. Or is it just I, me, and you and myself? Are you the only one who has built? Are you the only one that the tarmac ends at your place? Are you the only one that has got water? Are you the only one, Or is it trickling down? Because not everybody, you can't say everybody is bad. Remember, with kindness comes accountability. With kindness comes commitment. With kindness comes love. With kindness comes unity. All these things, there's nobody that can resist all of them. And when there's accountability, when someone is being supported and they are misbehaving in the family, many people will hold them accountable. So let us go back to the basics and be able to cultivate kindness, where we show care in the society, in the community, where we are concerned about what goes on. When you show concern, you now demand accountability. When you show concern, you demonstrate the love. When you show concern, you institute the desire for unity more than disunity, more than division. You become a builder. You become someone who adds value. You become someone who is a custodian of the community, of policies, of value system. You uphold one another with high esteem. All these things are intertwined. And the lack of it is why we see when someone takes off, they just want to acquire as much as they can as a person, and it ends there. And then it brings a lot of our lack of concern for one another. Let me tell you, the lack of kindness has also breeded a lot of depression. If you look around, a lot of depressed people, why do they get depressed? They feel they are alone. They feel there's no one to trust. They feel that even if they talk, people will judge them based on how they will speak. So someone decides to keep quiet. And that's why you see in the society right now, depression levels are very high. Yet people who are depressed are surrounded with a load of people. Why is that? Have you looked at the statistics of suicide people? People who are committing suicide. They are committing suicide. They are in the midst of a lot of people. But it's because they feel they have been judged by the society. They have been ignored. And nobody really cares whether they deliver or not. But nobody takes time to find out, how are you doing? How are you doing? Good morning. How can I help you? Is all well with you? But you are asking with genuine concern. You are not asking so that you can spread to the other person and the other person and the other person. But you are showing, genuine concern. And you are honest about being able to see, is there something I can do for this person? Is it a word I can speak? Is it somewhere there is help I can be able to reach out on their behalf? Do I know someone who can help? Do I have the capacity to do anything? There are very little things, but they make a very big difference in our society, whereby we know that if I'm kind to another person, I'm approachable. Do you know when you are kind to people, you are approachable? Someone doesn't know you, or they know you, but they find it easy to open up to you. And when they open up to you, you are able to give, valuable counsel. You can even share a story. You can say anything that can build another person, that can encourage another person, that can inspire another person positively. And with that, we'll just begin to see the levels of depression, the mental illnesses, mental instability, all these things, suicidal, options will begin to go down, where someone thinks that they are worthless, they are valueless, and nobody cares. So it's better for them not even to exist in this world. So let us hold one another accountable. Be that one person that will light up that candle, that will show up for another person, that will stand there for another person, that will encourage another person, that will inspire another person and tell them, look here, Even if you have gone down, you can always rise up again. The Bible says, if a tree be cut down, at the essence of water, as the appearance of water, a drop of water, it will spring out. Have you failed in life severally? It doesn't matter. We have all been failing and rising, failing and rising. As long as there is life, remember, there is hope. As long as there is life, there is hope. Let me be that person who will hold another one. You can hold yourself, be staggering, but at a appointed time, you will all stand. One person will stand, will hold this one, and we will all stand up, and we shall not only stand up, we shall stand up strong. We shall stand up better. We will stand up a formidable force. Remember the story of Ezekiel 37, when the dry bones were in the valley. God came to Ezekiel and asked Ezekiel, thou man of God, can these bones live? Ezekiel told God, you are the one who knows. And when he responded like that, God told him what to do, what to speak, until the valley of the dry bones. What did it do? It stood and became a formidable army. We can do that to one another. We can stand and be that person who has determined in your mind, in your thought process, in your actions, in your behavior, in your character, that I'm going to be that kind person. I'm going to be that person who is approachable. I'm going to be that person who wants to be a problem solver. I want to be that person who resolves conflict. I want to be that person who brings people together. I want to be that peacemaker. I want that to be that person who has the kind of boldness to call things to order when they are going wrong, because sometimes we shy away. We know this thing is wrong, but we are not bold enough to contend with the situation. We just sweep everything under the carpet. We just say, it doesn't concern me. So you turn your blind eye on this other side. Yet there is fire on the mountain. So let's be people who hold ourselves accountable and take responsibility and are committed to ensure that the change we see, the wrongs that we see, we are able to ensure we are the person, we are the point person, we are that light that determines things must change. Anywhere you find yourself, whether it's at the workplace, in the family, wherever it is. And when we bring out this change and this correction and this rebuke and this light we want to shine, let us do it in a respectable manner. Let us do it in an accountable manner. And let us do it with genuine, honest, intention and motive, whereby instead of it destroying, we are doing it so that we build ourselves together and become that formidable force. So I'm grateful that I've been able to bring out this on kindness, and I pray that we will work on it and we receive it with an open heart, and see you in the next one. Thank you. God bless you.